So you've got lots to say about yourself in the job interview, but you know that the panel is seeing a bunch of candidates. So you want to make sure that they listen to your every word. What's the best method for doing this? Find out in this video. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anthony Llewellyn, the career doctor. I'm a real doctor who, somewhat sadly for me, but luckily for you, knows a lot about the job application and selection process in health and medicine. So today I wanted to cover a really crucial part of the interview process, which is making sure that the panel hears you properly. And no, I'm not talking about raising your voice or shouting at them, nothing like that. What I'm talking about is how you can get them to actually listen to you. When you've been involved in as many interviews as a panel member as I have, then you know how hard it is to pay attention during a long day of interviews. One candidate can blur into another, and there's a tendency to zone out if a new candidate doesn't make an immediate good impression. In fact, some research studies indicate that up to a third of employers make their minds up about candidates in the first 90 seconds of an interview. So it is crucial that you do a good job with those first few minutes of your interview. So what's the solution to this particular problem? Well, it's called signposting, or what I like to refer to as using a road sign. Now, it's a simple technique, but it can have super helpful and super useful impacts on your performance. Think of yourself drawing a road sign for the panel that shows what your key points will be in the answer to the question so that they can follow along and know where you are up to in your answer. Here's an example of what I mean using a basic road signing technique that I call the three key issues. Let's say that your question to answer is the following. Tell us about, or tell us what you would do if a colleague asked you for a corridor consult. Pause the video now for a second, and I want you to jot down how you would go about responding to this particular question if you were in an interview. Okay, have you got an answer for the question written down now? Great. Now, let's look at how you might approach this question using the three key issues approach. You might say something like this at the start of your answer. Thank you very much for the question. I think there are a few issues here to consider. Number one, my colleague does appear to have a health problem, so it is important that this gets addressed properly. Number two is whether it's appropriate for me to be diagnosing and treating a colleague in such a way. And number three is to consider whether my colleague might be at risk of breaching other professional standards. Okay, so you wrote down and answered the question before. Now, I'm betting what you've written down for your answer probably focuses on some of these issues, probably number two, maybe number three, but not all three of the issues that I outlined. So, as you can see, signaling key issues can help you to develop a broader and more well-rounded approach to a question. And this invariably goes over better with the panel. By the way, it doesn't have to be three issues. It can be two or four, or possibly even a few more if you like. But I think you get the point. Now, there are several key advantages to using a road sign at the start of the answer to your question, whether it's using the key issues approach or other ways of road signing, which I go over in my interview skills course. It's basically a way for you to brainstorm out loud without it appearing as such. And this can be quite handy when you're not provided the question beforehand, which is most of the time in an interview. So it helps you to kick off your answer with a structure, which helps you to organize your thoughts and makes you look organized to the panel. So they don't think that you're someone who might waffle or might need interrupting to keep to time. It also avoids you missing crucial aspects of a question and going into too much detail by getting you to take a step back and considering all the angles first. It allows the panel to follow your answer and it avoids them feeling that need to interrupt. And even if you do run out of time to cover all the points that you want to talk about, you've at least signaled them to the panel so that you'll get points for that. So there you go. Use a road sign to deploy a structure to the start of the answer to your question so the panel does indeed hear what you have to say to them and pays attention to your answer. As I say, there are plenty of other options for signposting and using a road sign in the interview, some of which depend on the type of questions you have. For example, there's a specific technique if you get a past behavioral question. So if you're interested in knowing more about these techniques, then you can check out my job interview skills course. And I will see you in the next video.